Hello class, hope you're all feeling bright and ready. So today our topic is repetition control stroke cure. At the end of this chapter, you should be able to identify the structure of loop statement, while, do while, and for. Secondly, explain the components of loop statement type, initialization, evaluation, and updating. Thirdly, you will understand differentiate between the three types of repetition control structure. Let's start class with our first topic or structure of loop statement, while statement. As long as its condition is true, a while loop will continue to iterate. A while loop is also considered to be a top-checking pretest. This is flowchart of while loop. If the condition is false, the loop is skipped. Meanwhile, if the condition is true, the loop body is executed, and we then go back to testing the condition. Now we will write simple program using a while. On the left, have example program using while. Let's write the simple program, then the output will be displayed, so that you will understand the functionality of this program using while. Do while statement. The do while loop is similar to the while loop, but with one key difference: it guarantees that the block of code will execute at least once before checking the condition. This makes it useful when you want to ensure that a certain task is performed before evaluating a condition for continuation. This is flowchart of do while loop. Because the code block is run before the condition is tested, the loop will always run at least once, even if the condition is false. Meanwhile, this loop will execute the code block once, before checking if the condition is true. Then it will repeat the loop as long as the condition is true. Now we will write simple program using do while. On the left, have example program using do while. Let's write the simple program, then the output will be displayed, so that you will understand the functionality of this program using do while. For statement. The for loop is used when you know in advance how many times you want to execute the block of code. It iterates over a sequence, e.g. a list, tuple, string, or range, and executes the block of code for each item in the sequence. This is flowchart for statement. When you know exactly how many times you want to loop through a block of code because it is a statement in the control flow of a particular iteration that allows the code to execute it repeatedly. And the last, we will write program using for. On the left, have an example program that you can write. Let's start to write the programming. Let's continue with our second topic, that is, components of loop statement type. Initialization. Initialization is the process of giving a variable an initial value. For example, count 0, start 1, x 10. Evaluation. It is used to verify how many loops will be done. For example, count 10, start 30, x 0. The program starts by testing the Boolean test. If the result of the Boolean test is true, the entire loop body is executed. Then the process will be repeated as long as the condition is true. If the result of the Boolean test is false, the loop body will not be executed. The value true means run the loop body again, and the value false means quit the loop. Updating. It is used to update the initial value, followed by an increase or decrease in the value, until the ending value is reached. For example, count start x5. we're going to differentiate between three types of repetition control structures. Let's dive in. First, let's talk about the while loop. This loop is controlled by a counter, a sentinel, or a flag. It performs a pretest, which means it checks the condition before executing the loop's body. If the condition evaluates to false initially, the loop will never run. Next, we have the do while loop. Similar to the while loop, it can be controlled by a counter, a sentinel, or a flag. However, the key difference is that it performs a post-test. This means the loop's body is executed at least once before the condition is evaluated. This ensures that the loop runs at least once regardless of the condition. Lastly, there's the for loop, which is similar to the while loop. It also uses a counter, sentinel, or flag for control and performs a pretest. If the initial condition evaluates to false, just like the while loop, the loop's body will not execute at all. I hope this explanation helps you understand the differences between these repetition control structures. That's all for today's topic. Before we end the class, I have a few questions. What is structure of loop statement?
Structure of loop statement is while statement, do while statement, and for statement.
Okay, good. Thank you. Next question. Who knows what the components of loop statements are?
The components of loop statements are initialization, evaluation, and updating.
Nice. Very good. Now for the last question, who can tell me the difference between the three types of repetition control structure?
The difference between the three types of repetition control structures is that the while and for loops perform a pretest. Meanwhile, the do while loop performs a post-test, meaning the loop's body is executed at least once before the condition is evaluated.
Excellent. Thank you for your answers. If anyone still has questions or needs further clarification, feel free to ask. See you next time.